Today's video will demonstrate how to use the map. Hello, I'm James Helfrich. The map is a functional programming tool allowing us to transform data in a list from one type to another. This video will define the map and demonstrate how to use it to solve problems. First of all, what is a map? A map applies a function to all the members of a collection to produce a new collection. And notice the old collection and the new collection do not necessarily have to be the same data type. So we'll start with a structure chart. So map is a function that takes an input, which can be a collection of elements, and then a function which we're going to apply to each member of that collection. And that function is going to be called by map itself. And map's going to take one element from that input, and then take the result element prime from that function and add it to a collection, and that whole collection will be returned as output. So for an example, let's say I have an input, which I have a bunch of numbers here, and then my function is odd. And that's going to be returned true or false. So when I apply is odd to 1, 4, 8, 16, 25, and 36, I'm going to get true, false, 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 true, false. In other words, the output would be a list of booleans. The input is a list of numbers. Here's another example. In pseudocode, I want to convert all the prices, which are floating point numbers, into text. So I'm going to say for all price and prices, then I'm going to say $ plus the price, and I'm going to do it to 2 decimal places of accuracy, and I'm going to add it on to my results list. Now, this is a very iterative way of doing this. How would I do the same thing using map? Well, using map, I'm going to first have a function, this is Python, obviously, that's going to convert a number. So it's going to take the number, and it's going to render it with 2 decimal places of accuracy and put the $ in front of it. And then I'm going to convert all elements by calling map, convert item, which will be my function, and then the data that I'm going to input in. And I'm going to take that all and turn it into a list. Now let's do the same thing in C++. Here I'm going to say convert item, and I'm going to take my value, which is a floating point number, and I'm going to create a string out of it with 2 decimal places of accuracy. I'm going to put the $ in front of it, and I'm going to return that particular string. It's a lot of work. Notice how the Python is a lot cleaner. And then if I want to convert all, I'm going to have my vector of output, and then I'm going to say transform, and for some reason, C++ standard template library uses transform for the map function. And then I'm going to have an iterator from my begin to the end, and then I'm going to convert the item. And this will do exactly the same thing as the Python. To demonstrate how map works, we're going to use Lisp, one of the oldest programming languages. Now, the syntax of Lisp is a little bit odd, so I'll kind of explain it as I go. First of all, I want to define a function, and I'm going to call it def fun. That's how you define a function in Lisp. And my function's name is going to be times2. And I'm obviously going to multiply something by 2. I'm going to take a parameter, which is going to call number. And then what am I going to do with the body of this function? I'm going to multiply the number by 2. And so we have this prefix notation for doing math. Now we have the first parenthesis here is the parameter for times2. The second parameter is the body of the function, and then close out the definition by hitting close parenthesis. Now let's make sure this works. So I'm going to say times 2, and I'm going to pass the value 42, and I should get 84, and I do indeed. Okay, now let's going to try to use map for this. And Lisp, the name of the map function is called mapcar. And I'm going to specify the function name, and I do the pound single tick times 2. And that's how I'm going to use the times 2 is the high level function that I'm going to pass to the map car. And now I got to specify the list I'm going to do. And now the weird thing about Lisp is when we have a list or an array, we don't put a comma between it. So I'm going to multiply by 2 the number 4, the number -10. Oop, did it comma again? -10. Let's say 105, 0, and 97. Okay. The close parenthesis is going to specify the list, my input parameter. Once again, this is my function that is going to be applied to every element, and close parenthesis will then for the map. When I hit enter, then 4 becomes 8, -10 becomes -20, 105 becomes 210, 0 becomes 0, and 97 becomes 194. And that's how you apply map in Lisp. This is example 19.2 and the map section of the functional programming chapter of the software design textbook.